Welcome to Rev'n News. I'm Mike, and this is Joe, your Rev'n News hosts.
Rev'n News is your weekly automotive news source, delivering highlights on the latest products from the automotive aftermarket and the industry's top movers and shakers. At Rev'n News, we cover anything that revs.
This week, we're covering the transmission and clutch. We're even going to throw in an exhaust system.
Now, we know racers love to use manual transmissions when hooking up on the track, but what about using an automatic transmission and getting the same result?
I know what you're thinking. There's no way an automatic trans is going to give me the same feel and same result as a manual would on the track. But wait, HUGHES Performance has designed some new technology to fix that problem.
I think the biggest misconception about an automatic is they can't leave as hard as a clutch car. But with the new technology that we have and some of the new design converters that there are, we have legal traction control converters, which is one of our newest designs, and that helps you actually plant the tire. You can use a trans brake both on the street and strip applications. You can bring the engine up to a specified RPM, launch the car with a trans brake button, and it feels like you're letting go of a clutch. Biggest thing that we've done on transmissions on the internal is, for an example, the power glides. Power glides started out in the early taxi cabs with 6 cylinders. Now we've got them running in pro mod cars up, 3,500 horsepower. We've modified the internal components of the converters with bigger input shafts, bigger splines, as well as the transmission that will drive the bigger splines and input shafts, as well as bigger clutch hubs. Everything is larger. Planetaries, pump gears, everything from the case, from the front of the transmission to the back is all modified for high performance. By working with other people and our background in drag racing, we've been very blessed in winning championships ourselves, NHRA World Championships, as well as multiple divisional titles. And that gives you the credibility that you know what you're doing with the parts to go out and work with your competitors and customers to give them the best product available for their application.
Hey, that's pretty neat stuff, Mike. But here's a question. You ever purchase a new trans and realize it didn't include all the necessary parts? That's because you needed a complete kit.
And there's a company that provides you with all the right parts and the support to get that new trans hooked up. American POWERTRAIN.
Like when you buy a Tremec, you're really just getting a transmission in a box. They make a great transmission, but they don't make any of the support parts to put them in a car. So the shift position's probably wrong for your classic car. You don't have a drive shaft, you don't have a cross member or a mount or a way to run your speedometer. So all those capabilities are there in the transmission, but you need the support parts to go with it. If you're going from an automatic, you're going to have a bell housing and a clutch and a flywheel, pedals. So we cover all those bases. We do hydraulic clutch systems and mechanical linkage and just about anything between the differential and the block to put in a transmission we carry or we've made. Well, we have such a wide range of products, and I tell people quite often, we never know who's going to call or what they're going to work on. In this industry, it's kind of sky's the limit. You dream up a car and then you start building it. So for instance, we make AMC flywheels, not because we sell a lot of AMC flywheels, but because if somebody calls up and has an AMC, and they want a transmission, they're going to have a flywheel to go with it or they can't put our stuff in. So we try to cover the bases for everything out there so that we never have to tell a customer no. If they can dream it, we want to be able to help them with a transmission, and we've gotten a reputation for that. Well, we're kind of filling out our line, and as I say, we have such a wide breadth of products. We're starting to reach a point where we can go back and refine some of the things we do. We have cross members coming out that are more universal in terms of fitting more transmissions in the same car. Maybe like one of these ones on the table we have is a 70 to 74 Camaro. We've used several models to cover different transmissions in the past. Now we found a way to homologate that into one part number that fits almost anything, Turbo 350 or a Power Glide or a Muncie or one of our Tremecs. So, we've started to make more inroads in refining our parts. We're also really excited about our hydraulic systems. Man, we do a lot of hydraulic clutch conversions, and you know, getting to the point where, as I say, you don't have to say no to a customer no matter what they're building. You know, you're not going to have any new classic cars. So once you've covered the entire gamut of classic cars, you can go back and start really refining what you offer, and you know, that's what we're up to now.
Now, on to the clutch. Here's some great news from CENTERFORCE for you diesel truck owners.
And what we decided to do with this year was get into the diesel market pretty heavily. Trucks is a big thing. And what we wanted to do was come up with a new twin, something that's capable of holding the power of the diesel today. These guys are making some tremendous amount of power. And our new twin is capable of holding 1,700 foot-pounds of torque. It is a dual stage sprung hub disc. So there's two primary springs that are pretty soft, and they help eliminate the gear rattle that is inherited with the G56 transmission. And we have the other 4 springs that are heavy duty springs to help, you know, handle that type of torque that a diesel will provide. And those can coupled together with the anti-rattle floater system and our ball bearing pressure plate gives us the holding capacity that we're looking at about 1,700 foot-pounds of torque. The other unique design about that is that's our ball bearing pressure plate. So we've increased the clamp load well over 3,000 pounds of clamp load in just the pressure plate alone. And everybody knows the CENTERFORCE is having centrifugal weights. And with the diesel, because it doesn't turn a lot of RPM, we had to redesign the way that weight system works. And it's a complete unique design on the weight system for us on that diesel, so that we're giving the additional clamp load on top of the 3,000 pounds of clamp load on our centrifugal assist with this clutch. So that's how we're able to achieve the 1,700 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, to eliminate the floater rattle, what we did is we came up with centrifugally assisted spring-loaded bushing inside of the little block, and what that does is it rides on the pin, and as RPM increases, or just RPM itself, it actually completely eliminates any type of floater rattle, so that noise, the annoying noise, is completely gone.
Okay, we covered the trans and clutch like we promised, but we said we're going to throw in an exhaust system too. And Corsa has a great straight-through design for a nice sound drone. But how do they get that sound?
At Corsa Performance, what we do is different from a lot of packed muffler systems. Packed muffler technology is very good within a range of frequencies at eliminating those, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't hit all the frequencies. It has a hard time hitting the lowest frequencies, the ones that induce drone in an exhaust system. So we have multiple acoustic engineers on staff. And when we start a product, we start by understanding exactly what the stock system does in its raw form. So we'll test the car out in the road, and we're recording a bunch of different parameters and sound waves of the outside and the inside so that we understand that. The next step for us is we go to straight pipes so we can understand the raw sound of the engine. It's like putting a stethoscope on an engine. Nothing's in the way, nothing's distorting it. We understand exactly what happens. Once we have that, we have a good idea of exactly what's happening with the car at, you know, different speeds and different gears, and we have a specific sequence for testing to understand exactly what we're looking for that I'm not going to give away. It's a secret sauce. But then we go back and we've got the acoustic engineers that go to work, and we have proprietary software that we've built to help us understand. And the benefit of a Corsa system is it's also a straight-through design. What does that mean? It means we're not impeding airflow. That means we're going to flow wide open and straight through and produce power. So in effect, by what we do, you're going to get the power and the straight-through design. You're not stopping the airflow. We always try to increase pipe diameter and pipe size wherever possible so you can flow more air. The more air you flow, the faster you can go. So, you know, that's part of what we're trying to do in every single exhaust system that we go to make. We're excited about getting into the Audi Volkswagen line. Those are passionate consumers. Those are guys that are looking for power and sound and everything else. And by the time we get done with 2015, there should be 10 to 15 products out there for the Audi Volkswagen marketplace. You're talking about your Golfs. We'll probably go back to the Mark 5, Mark 6, Mark 7. Mark 7 kit's coming out real soon, so look for that in the market. We're going to do your Audis, your A4s, your S4s, your TTs. We're going to have a wide range of product. We're going to try to go with 3-inch diameter pipe wherever we can in most of these systems. and really make a splash in that category. But beyond that, we've got the Subaru WRX STI, the latest models coming out. We're really excited about that because we get to expand upon a market that we just got into and a lot of people have been asking for. Mustang 5-liter should be out sometime in February. We've done a little seeding of that. That's received a really good response so far, so we're very excited about that. And then of course you got your big Ford trucks.
Hey, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're talking to a painting legend, and we're going to show you an easier way to list parts on the internet. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Rev'n News. Now, we know a lot of you like that pinstripe look, and who is the main man when it comes to pinstriping? Vaughn Hot Rod, of course. And I got the chance to interview him at the LA Roadster Show. Check it out. Here with Vaughn, right at the Grand National Roadster Show. This is going to be a nice little sneak peek into one of the great minds here in hot rodding. Vaughn, great to see you. How are things going these days?
It's a blast out here at the Grand National Roadster Show. We are having so much fun. People are bringing me the oddest stuff to pinstripe. I did a glass eye earlier. I've done a bike, a beach cruiser. I even did a gun. I don't know how he got it in, but I got a gun out here. So we're having a blast out here. If you guys missed this, you missed the greatest show on earth.
So we all know that pinstriping really is the core to the artistic talents of hot rods.
Right.
But what about evolution? Have we seen some changes in pinstriping? What's new that's going on? Are you seeing some new trends or maybe some new techniques in pinstriping that are happening?
Well, actually what's nice is because of social media, it's really gone mainstream. My biggest clients have nothing to do with the hot rod industry. I do a lot of shoes for during the Academy Awards and Golden Globes. I do a lot of purses and shoes that match, which has ventured over into laptop computers and iPads. So a lot of customers, for me, because of social media, has just branched out into mainstream. And that's what I like, because it's opened it up for the younger generation to tie into this. When they don't just have to put it on a bike or a hot rod, they can move out into kitchen utensils. I've done a lot of KitchenAids and stuff like that. So it's just crazy. I love where it's going, and there's just no end to it.
I never would have thought people would be striping household appliances. That really is amazing. So throughout the day, 24 hours in the day, how much time are you spending daily striping now? Are you striping a lot?
I stripe a lot. Probably on a 24-hour day, I would say it feels like 22 hours. In reality, it's about half a day because, I travel a lot. And so when I'm overseas or I'm somewhere else, we max out the day. We'll do a 15-hour day, striping anything that gets in the way. And I always say, if it moves, I'll tape it down. So it's great. I like where the industry has gone. The industry's been really good, especially the younger kids now with social media. They want to learn it. They go, well, how do I get into it? And I said, well, understand that there's not an app for it. It's something old school. You have to learn it, slow process. It's a hands-on feel.
I love that. I love that. It really is all about getting the new generations involved. Give us a little sneak peek of what you're working on right now. Any crazy projects we might see soon? Give us a little kind of a peek behind the curtain.
Absolutely. Stuff I've been really doing is I've been commissioned to do my art pieces I used to do years ago. And believe it or not, it has nothing to do with pinstriping. We're taking car parts and making furniture back again and making signature lamps. I've got a couple here you guys can check out. So stuff like that's new for me to do. I used to do it years ago. We're back doing it again.
Now, when you have parts for sale, where's the best place to list them? Well, it's the internet, of course. But what's the best site? Well, Mike found a new website dedicated to those of you selling your parts.
Junkyard, my garage is just brimming with a ton of stuff.
Tripping over, it's all dusty. He's got
I'm
black
getting
widows
heat,
living
like
in it.
what's going on with this? I want to save it. I might want to save it. I know it's worth some money. I don't want to throw it in the can. What do I do with
It's
it?
$100 bills sitting there. Basically what you want to do first is clean it off. Get the spiders off it, get the dust off it, take pictures of it. Because what we are is we're simply a free online parts swap meet. Everyone's got stuff like yourself laying around in your garage. You're tripping over it, your car door's banging into it. Get rid of it, turn it into cash. That's what we're all about. We're a free listing service to put your parts on the internet. Simple as that.
I've done that before. I went through cleaning it. You almost lost me right there. Then I got to take pictures of it.
Yep.
And I did this once. I spent a whole weekend.
I'm
I put it
asking
up.
you to work,
I put
I
it
know.
up on eBay, and
Yep.
it sat and I got nothing. It was nothing. I put it on Craigslist. I got a bunch of guys sending me emails with spam.
Exactly.
It's kind of. I think it's a lot of work though.
We have a lot
and
of
I got to
differences.
pay those guys.
Yeah, no fun. Well, the differences between us, first of all, we're 100% free. There's no listing fees whatsoever. It's not going to cost you a red cent. Better yet, if you sell your stuff, you keep your money. We don't take any commissions whatsoever. We make our money in the advertising. You know, the Rev'n, the Rev'n logo, put that on our website. That's how we make our revenue.
So the money's not made from the guys listing their parts. You're getting money from manufacturers and different advertisers.
Corporate advertisers.
Interesting.
So
I like it.
Keep your money. You know, we're getting thousands of people coming into the homepage. We're nationwide, which differentiates us from Craigslist. Craigslist is regional, and we're strictly cars, trucks, motorcycles, and tools. All the cool stuff.
I am sure that people are just coming up with all kinds of crazy stuff to list on your site. Why don't you share some of the crazy finds that you've seen as of lately on junkyardfind.com?
Well, crazy finds, you know, I mean, you can find almost anything on there because it's like a swap meet. As you're cruising through the swap meet up and down the aisles, you go like, oh my God, never seen that before. For ours, it's, you know, we're not that big yet. We're growing nationally, you know, by leaps and bounds. But you can find a lot of old 70s muscles where, you know, really is classic. I mean, Chevelle parts, you know, hard to find Chevelle parts, dash gauges, you know, first generation 68, 67, 69 Camaros stuff. So not really crazy parts, just hard to find stuff and original parts.
Well, the hard to find stuff is definitely worth saving a trip all the way to a bunch of junkyards. Jeff, we appreciate it. Thank you for chatting with us today.
I appreciate it. Having a great show, man. You guys enjoy.
Welcome back to Rev'n News. Over the last few weeks, we've shown you some companies who are at the first U.S. Automechanica show. Now we're going to check out a couple more.
Like Garrett by Honeywell, for instance. They have some advanced turbochargers to get that extra power you're looking for.
Garrett is part of Honeywell. We're a large corporation, but with that we have access to engineers all over the world. So we have over 1,000 engineers. We started being very involved with the performance side a couple years ago here in the U.S., and we do have a line of performance turbochargers here. But now you're seeing more and more pass car turbos, and we're seeing a great growth in the U.S. of the new passenger car vehicles with turbochargers on them. We're seeing more vehicles with turbochargers on them because OEs are looking for a way to decrease emissions, increase fuel economy, while still giving the consumer that drivability that they enjoy. Car people that really have that excitement about a V8, the deep sound, are also getting excited about these smaller displacement engines. The new Ford Mustang has our turbochargers on it, and that's a fun car to drive. The difference between twin turbos and single turbos is all in the packaging and the ability for the OE to make that engine work with the turbocharger that needs to go on. So it could be twin, it could be single, but it all has to do with the design. At Honeywell, how we design and develop new products is we go way back into product engineering, where they may come up with a new concept, and then as they refine that concept, it gets to the application engineers. They'll start working with the OE teams on a clean sheet of paper on how we can apply those technologies to improve the next generation of engines that are coming out. What's new coming from Garrett, Honeywell Turbo Technologies, is that we've got new turbochargers that will incorporate ball bearing designs with variable geometry. So you're getting the high temperature materials with a very fast spooling rotor group. Benefit to a faster spooling rotor group is that you're going to have less turbo lag. These aren't the turbochargers of the 80s, where you had to have your vehicle come up to boost before you're even moving it, and then once you shut it down, you had to let it idle for a while so that you have a safe shutdown of the turbochargers. This is going to be a vehicle you're going to drive like you would a naturally aspirated engine.
And finally, we're going to wrap this episode the same way we opened, talking about transmissions. And here's a company that delivers what you need when upgrading your trans.
Kind of a threefold company. We have tools for automatic transmissions for certain problems and fixes. We have our Fairbanks Performance Division, which is old school transaction, and our new school power tow kits, which are a specific truck line for truck performance and towing and hauling. We're the only company on the market that has a 3-level kit for the Ford F-150 2001 up, the Ford 4R100, and our newest one, the 4L80E dual feed direct clutch for towing or performance in a box truck or a heavy duty Chevy truck. A lot of guys use them for off-road racing too, or track racing. Fairbanks was known back in the 80s and the 70s for their old school 300, 350 and 400 kits. We basically brought those back out to market in 1998, recertified their line, and now they're the Superior's Performance Division.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Rev'n News.
And if you just can't get enough of cars, trucks, Jeeps, shows, parts, and products, then keep tuning in each week.
And we invite you to follow us on Facebook and check us out on YouTube. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
You know, at Rev'n News, we cover anything that revs.
This is what we're revving.
What are you revving?